Hi. Once, much of what we take for granted and how we live and understand the world didn't exist. The modern world is rooted in the changes that occurred from the mid-15th century to about 1800 in a moderately sized peninsula in the northwest corner of Afro-Eurasia. Protestantism, printing, science, capitalism, a global perspective, and a priority on the human individual all emerged then and there. At the beginning of our period, most people were illiterate subsistence farmers with shorter lives, smaller worldviews, and no sense of progress. But by the early 19th century, Europe was becoming pretty recognizable. Industrial economies, national boundaries, scientific and democratic ideas had sprouted and were being put into practice. People lived longer, better, and more enlightened lives. They were starting to get used to change. In this course, we'll survey the individuals, the trends, the events of this time and place. We'll take a thematic approach following some framing and introduction. We'll look at how people lived, their beliefs, ideas, and culture, capitalism in the wider world, politics and power. And we'll wrap up with a focus on the Enlightenment and the origins of the twin revolutions, French and industrial, that marked the shift to our modern world. This course will give you some context for some names and concepts you've heard of. The, quote, scientific revolution, the Enlightenment, the Sun King, Luther, witchcraft, and many that are likely new. The rise of the state, the late marriage pattern, Condorcet, the levelers, and the industrious revolution. Using illustrated lectures with plenty of opportunity for questions and discussion. We'll touch on music, art, economics, ideas, military tactics, maps, the famous and the ordinary, and we'll have some fun along the way. I hope you'll join us.